Well, hello everyone. I hope that you can see and hear me okay. It's been a long time since I've streamed live here, and I'll be recording for my YouTube channel. My name is Ted. I'm a certified instructor. Let's go up here and paint something today. It's been a while, as I said. I've been busy teaching classes all around the great state of Michigan and going on a few long distance journeys as well. So, let's just go ahead and start by covering the canvas with our liquid white. You know the deal. And I'm just using a 12 by 16 canvas here. And you may be able to see a little bit of a spacer block right here. That's just to raise the canvas up to make it a little easier for me to record this class, lesson, demonstration, what are we calling it? One of those. So it's been a while since I've just done a live demo. So I thought I would start with one of my favorite paintings to play around with, but with a little added twist. It's been a while since I've painted this painting, so I'm changing things up. I'm actually doing it on a smaller 12 by 16 canvas. I have it, instead of landscape mode, I have it in portrait mode. Let's see what's going to happen. Let's see if that was a good idea or not. You guys get to tell me. Oh my gosh, Ballistic Bruce. Good to see you too. I've got my bucket of paint thinner here, but I'm just wiping off the majority of the liquid white on a paper towel here. And let's, oh my gosh. Let's take a look at my palette here. White, alizarin crimson, phthalo blue, a little bit of mountain mixture, Van Dyke brown. I'll probably add some more colors because, well, I guess I was just in a hurry to get started. And then we've got our cad yellow, Indian yellow, yellow ochre, and some bright red. And I think today, wherever possible, I'm going to be using some brand spanking new brushes. I've got a bunch of older student brushes here. They're starting to get a little worn and a little stiff just with overuse. So I'm going to take, let's just take a little bit of Indian yellow. I'm going to pull some of that down and work it across the entirety of the brush. And then take a little bit of the bright red. Ooh, that was a lot of it, huh? A little bit of the bright red, and I haven't seen Bob do this, but in a few episodes here, we're going to put a sun up here in the sky. Oh, golly, just before we do that, I'm taking a little bit of cadmium yellow. Oh my God, it's been a while since I've painted this. Forgot to drop in a little bit of cad yellow glow. And I don't even have a 1-inch brush out on my palette space. My God. No one's going to watch me ever again with these mistakes. A little bit of those yellows and that alizarin crimson, I'm sorry, bright red, and we twist. It's like a propeller. Just making an interesting cycle there. There we go. And then with this 1-inch brush, 2-inch brush. Oh, I am terrible. I am terrible. I'm just going to crisscross and soften it a little bit. Boy, I don't know what I'm doing. It's like I've never painted before, never taught before. Soften that up a little bit, and we've got a nice little glow happening there. A little bit of titanium white, and I'm going to make our little sun right in there. You can tell it's been a while since I've painted this painting. I don't know the colors, I don't know what I'm doing. I do know that I wiped the brush out a little bit, beat it on the easel there, and we have a simple little glow. If you want it brighter, you can always go back and put a little bit more bright white in there. Keep going as much or as little as you want to get the desired glow. Make sure that brush is nice and clean and dry, and only hit it once or twice to get that effect. Alright, I'm going to stop and I'm going to get that 1-inch brush. Who do we got there? Tom Kizzle, a wild Ted appears. That's right, it's been some time. I'm going to be sending out my standard newsletter on Mondays, and I get to add a new link once I get this uploaded to my YouTube channel. So let's come in here, and I'm pulling a little bit of this titanium white through first, adding a little bit of the alizarin crimson back and forth to make this fairly dark pink color. And let's see here, just outside this glow, let's add some of that alizarin crimson white mixture and start expanding it outwards. If you want it a little bolder, pick up a little bit of color, drop some in. And I'm going down, just a little bit below the halfway point. We can always cover up whatever we don't want to see here, but we want to make sure we do a little bit more than we need, just so that we can determine where we want it. Not really worrying about brush marks or anything too specific here, and I'll wipe some of this pink down here. Maybe we'll see some of it reflected in our snow. And there we go. Alright, I am going to clean this brush out a little bit. Rubbing it in my little screen-filled bucket. Wipe the excess off. And I still got my big old PVC pipe running through a waste paper basket. And a little extra on the easel for Bob. And let's see what we get here. Maybe one more. Really clean and dry. And I just want to hit right where that yellow and crimson meet. Lots of crisscross strokes. Wiping it off here and there. Just blurring that. Just blurring it. Can't really see where that yellow ends and that pinky color begins. Oh boy, that's a really tight spot there. That's why we make those X strokes. I was just watching a different episode there where Bob reminds us there that we do the X strokes just to make that blending so much easier. And once I get that transition started between the yellows and the pinks, then I can soften out the rest of the pink. You know how Bob did this. Fast and loose and easy there. Just getting it in. He only had 26 minutes to do the whole painting here, so we don't spend a ton of time here in the sky. I know this is just a practice painting and we can spend as much time as we want. Oh, first time chat, Jalen. Oh, everything has changed so much. I just disconnected and reconnected my Twitch to the OBS, and all of a sudden I've got all of it right there on my OBS channel. This is crazy. And there is my mod of note. My favorite person on Twitch. Sorry Dom Kizzle. Sorry the rest of you. But my fearless friend and most amazing mod of note is here on my Twitch channel. It's a good day. Look at that crazy glow. That is something bright, isn't it? Looks a little brighter on the Twitch window than it does here on my real life look here. So I'm just going to stop messing with it. All right, let's go in, and just by adding the hintiest of hints of phthalo blue, look how much that eats it up. Look at that. Bob says it eats up your whole world, and who am I to disagree with Bob? I added too much blue, so I add a little bit more crimson. And look at that. We want to get a nice purpley color. Ooh, I like it. I love how that white automatically creates a lavender instead of royal purple, you know? Touch more crimson, maybe, over here. There it is. That's the color I wanted over here. But you know what? We'll make it work. A little bit of lavender. Working my way down, and let's even get a little bit of that lavender down here in the snow. Our snowy shadows here and there. There we go. With a canvas this small, I don't even really need to use the 2-inch brush. I love looking over at the chats here. I got to figure out a way to record the chat too. Maybe I did. I don't know. It's been a while. It's been a while. I know there's so many other people out there live streaming, live twitching through the YouTube or through Twitch or one of the other 10,000 other ways to live stream themselves. I can't even think anymore. But I was doing it a long time ago, before it was all cool. Now we've got all these intrepid streamers out there. But I used to live stream on Twitch once or twice a week, even before the COVID shutdown here. And then I started doing the RPAN on Reddit. I don't know, got my affiliate status on Twitch and just still wasn't building an audience. But what I was building was a series of classes in real life, IRL, and that's what I've been focusing on, and quit my job. And so I travel the country, mostly southeast Michigan, but occasionally the country, doing live classes. Now that's nice and soft. But we got some lights and darks here, and I'm just gonna let it be. Let it be. Yeah, let it be. I will clean my fan brush and my paint thinner. It's what I tell my students, is just what Bob told us here. Just move on. Just move on. Let whatever happens, happens, because we're probably going to cover up most of this anyway. Let's use the knife and make a color here. I could do it on the brush, but why not just control it a little bit more with the knife? I'm going to get rid of this stuff. I don't need it no more. No more? I almost said no mo. A little bit of that alizarin crimson, a small touch of the phthalo blue. No white this time. Maybe a little bit more crimson. I need a little bit more paint, a little more volume, and I'll shut up so we can hear the good stuff. Alright. Let's see what color we get there. Touch of white. Mix it together. Ooh, that's a pretty purple. But I want it a little bit darker, so I'm going to add the least amount of mountain mixture, which has all those dark blues and blacks, browns and crimsons, and just brings it a notch darker. That's what I want. I'll show you what it looks like with the white. Just a little deeper. Sometimes I call that Crown Royal purple. Just really, really, really dark. Well, there you go, Wells. Thank you so much. Someone who knows me from the Arpan days. What I called my let's gain 50-pound days. Because I've got no classes to teach and I'm just sitting in my basement eating ho-hos, ding-dongs, and just about anything else. So, lots of paint up in my fan brush. And let's make some clouds. Let's make some stringy clouds. The little ones down here, and making my little shallow smiles. Big old clouds to make them look a little closer. Ooh, this is really filling up the sky, isn't it? Just going right off the canvas here. Ooh, not bad. And maybe just have a couple little stringers down there and something happening over there. And I'm immediately going to clean that brush. I've got my paper towels here, just wiping it off. And let's just go over it again with a feather touch. Just move some of that paint. Not much. So I'm just going to go right back to that big old 2-inch brush and soften it. This brand new brush, kind of puffy. I guess I really haven't cleaned it very much. I gotta train the brush sometimes. There, you get a nice wet brush, and it gives it a little bit more of that chiseled wedge look. But sometimes here, and you don't always have to use the beat the devil out of it motion, but it is so fun. Now I'm going to give you guys a tip here. What I do when I want to collapse the bristles and make them not so puffy, well, you can use a little bit of a cleaning product, the brush cleaner conditioner, but what I do, it is hard to do it standing up here, but what I do is I wrap the brush in a paper towel like this, wrap it all the way around, give it a little squeeze, feel where that brush ends, and then fold it over. You do that, let it sit for 24 hours. It takes a little bit of time, and all that paint thinner will soak into the paper towel, but you give it that 24-hour rest, and then when you pull it away, it'll be much more collapsed, much more than what you see here, but it'll have a much tighter wedge shape. Okay, give that a try, and after you do that a couple of times, when you're done with your painting session, you can train those brushes right up into a beveled edge. Alright, so that's a good way if you're looking to make evergreens with the 2-inch brush. Sometimes you can get a much better look having that wedgier shape. See, already it wants to puff out again. So once in a while, do that wedge clean wrap method, and I think you'll be happy. Happier. While I'm here, I'm going to clean that 1-inch brush, get some of that excess color out of it too. Practice my double picking. Yeah, it's been a year since Arpan. I've been seeing some year anniversary of our Pan's Demise posts come up lately. And I actually had a couple of days off here from classes. That kind of coincided with my reason for streaming here. Sometimes I take a half a minute pause between finishing words. Oh. And while I'm taking a mini break here between finishing my sentences, I got to get something to sip on. Having a low blood sugar moment here, so a little bit of electrolytes. Just don't confuse your paint thinner with your Gatorade or substitute. Alright, what's next, folks? Have you guys figured out what painting I'm working off of? What episode? I'm adding a little bit more of that mountain mix. Maybe a touch more of the alizarin crimson. I got extra here, so I got to use it up. Pull it out nice and flat. Cut off my roll of paint, and let's make a mountain. Just a baby mountain here. Where should I put it? Where should I put it? It's a low-lying mountain. By that I mean low to the horizon here. Little baby peak off the left side here. Just wanted to cover up a little bit of that low-lying mountain, or cloud I should say. Make it a little pointier. Little bump, little hump. Maybe a little peak off on the right side. Scraping off the excess. Little bump there. Ooh, boy, I'm just like feeling a little out of sorts. Forgive me. You know what? I forgot to have breakfast. I think that, can't even get the mealtime right. I haven't had my lunch yet. Ooh. Scrape off that excess. Maybe I need a granola bar. Or just some candy or something. See, I had a little candy between breakfast and lunch. Maybe it's too much sugar. I don't know. I don't know how that works. But pulling that color out, getting it nice and misty down here, dark at the top, light in the middle. That's the start of it. Is this the first filmed low blood sugar fainting session? Could be. Ooh. Yeah, consistency is important. Gotta set aside those days. But some of my classes are on my streaming days. So sometimes, normally I streamed on Wednesdays, but then I got into a Tuesday and Thursday kick. Now I know that's when Lady Galaga streams like twice a week now, so I don't want to double up on her days. Let's use the small knife. I got a smaller canvas. Let's use the smaller knife here. Take a little bit of titanium white, pulling out nice and flat. Maybe take a touch of that alizarin crimson and pull it through so it's not super bright. Dull it down a little bit. Dull it down or warm it up, one of the two. Cut off my little roll of paint, and ooh, look at this twitching fingers here. This is going to make things a little harder. Let it just graze off. Might just have to do a feathering effect for my highlights. Sometimes Bob does these long pulls. Sometimes we do the little short pathways. You know what? I think I'm gonna call in my daughter to come bring me a granola bar so I can munch really quick. Oh, let's see. Bailey, can you bring me a granola bar? I like voice to text. That's nice. And back here, maybe we got a little baby peak there, a little bit bigger one here. And while she's waiting to bring me a granola bar, good thing I didn't use the lavalier mic, so you're not going to hear me munching too loud. I'm going to take a little bit of my titanium white, touch of that phthalo blue. Look how much phthalo blue I put out on my palette. Way too much. Way too much. I was planning on doing 2 or 3 paintings today, just to get my repertoire replenished, so maybe that's why. But beat the devil out of it. Look at that emoji. Oh, yes, I do have ventilation for my paint thinner. Thank you for thinking of my health. You can probably hear in the background noise a little bit of a fan. I do have an exhaust fan, always pulling that out. No, it's definitely an odorless thinner. Yeah, no, I was just going to type that in my thing if we didn't have the granola bars to bring. Hey, Bailey, if you want, reach in the second left-hand drawer of my desk. I got a delivery today of some hard candies. So, while I'm mixing up here, I tell you what, I'm going to quickly mute my mic so I can chow down some of this granola bar super quick. I'll be right back. And there is Miss Gallagher. Hi there. All right, there goes the audio again. Sorry for that. Little quick chow down there. There we go. Maybe it was a low blood sugar thing, or I'm just having a quick anxiety attack. I don't know. How is the video there? That looks a little bit out of focus. Maybe if I were to zoom in just a tad. Where is the zoom on this thing? I don't know. It does seem a little bit out of focus. I'm kind of bummed. This is a nice camera. What happened? And it's been a while. I can't even figure out where the zoom is on it. Oh, here it is. Maybe that'll help. Now that we've moved down the canvas a little bit, we can move right along. So let's go ahead, take a little bit of that remaining shadow color, add in some of my purple that I created with the background color. Let's see what we can get. Maybe even a touch more white. Let's see how that works. No, too much white, a little more of that dark color. And with my handy dandy 1-inch brush, I'm going to tap in. And let's make a little foothill color right after I fade out my mountain. And a little bit there on the highlight side. Tappy tap, sweepy sweep, crissy cross. And then using my 1-inch brush, we'll tap in the start of our foothill. Oh, it's going all the way across, look at that. With my mostly clean other 1-inch brush I grabbed, I'm just going to bash it, create some mist. Gotta make those noises. Blend it and soften it, or add more mist. Now I'm going to take that same color. Let's take the rest of my crimson and a touch more of the phthalo, touch more of the mountain mix. Darken this purple down a little layer or two. Little more paint on that brush, and let's make another foothill, a little bit darker than the previous one. A little bit of color on the other side. Bringing this right on down, something like that. Grab my cleaner brush here, and let's make some more mist. That liquid white, that's our good friend. Look at that, just tapping and tapping and tapping. And you know what? Even if I take my other 2-inch brush that I use to put the liquid white on there, that helps create the mist even faster. Lift up or crisscross, doesn't really matter. And let's see what you guys got going on here. No new comments? All right, well, I'm going to take one last crunch and you're going to hear it. All right, clean out that 1-inch brush. And let's put in our snow, or at least the start of it. Lots of that titanium white, a little at a time. I just did a class here where we loaded a heck of a lot of paint into our 1-inch brush. Always a scary moment as an instructor, trying to get the people to load the brush and create that beveled edge without ripping through a half a tube of paint, you know? But a little bit at a time and forcing it in and giving these nice straight pulls, you start to create that beveled edge. And I think in this scene here, Bob just did one long stroke, but just to change it up a little bit, I like to do 2 or 3. Just to break that snow line up just a little bit. And keep working away. We don't have to have it be pure white. We want some of those shadows. That's why I pulled it right on through some of that foothill color. Now if we do want it a little brighter, maybe a little highlight to the highlight, you can drop in a little bit more, but try to let it be. Try to let some of that shadow color remain. It'll do it for you. It'll help. And you know, while I'm here, I'm going to sneak back here and just gently lift up. I always like the look of treetops in the background. So just with a couple of hairs, lift those up. And then on the closer one, pulls it right on through some of that mist. You can get away with pulling it a little higher, but you don't need to go crazy with it. There we go. Now I didn't go all the way down with my snow quite yet. I'm going to start dropping in some trees. So, oh boy, what are we going to do here? Do I actually need some more alizarin crimson? I might. I like using similar colors throughout the painting. And in this winter scene with all these warm reds and yellows, let's keep it going. So crimson, some blue, and how about all that mountain mixture? Big old batch of color. Maybe even a touch of that brown there to dull everything down. Don't even need to mix it super thoroughly. Alright, brand new fan brush. Perfect time to make some evergreen trees. That's not it. There it is. It's still got some white, those nice beige bristles to it. So let's load the heck out of this brush. A little bit at a time. Smooth it down. Lots and lots of paint. Now back here, they don't need to be all that big. All they really need to do is come just past the snow line here. And I suppose how big you make them really helps determine the depth and distance in your painting. I already made mine a little bit bigger than Bob did, so maybe we get just a different perspective. Tapping down, working my way from the center out, you get a nice little tree. This tree, oh, right there. He's got a little brother tree right there. And sometimes maybe a little guy off in the background. Or maybe he's in the foreground. Who knows? I think I'll use the other fan brush I have laying here just to create my highlight. Painting at home. Why not? It's always good to have a dark brush and a light brush. Get some nice paint on the brush, a little bit thinner with the liquid white, titanium white, and touch, little bits here and there. I will take my 1-inch brush. Oh, I need a new pile of the titanium white. I just contaminated my whole batch. Load that 1-inch brush full of color, collapse them bristles, and what I'm going to do is I come right up there, I touch the very bottom of those trees and slide it down and out. Create an angle here. And it just looks like those trees are now up on a little hill. The more you go over it, you start to lose it. Oh, what the heck happened there? Grabbed a little bit of yellow. I'm going to do something I hardly ever do, is take a paper towel and just literally just scrub that off. Wow. I think I might just go back to playing video games here. I'm not feeling the painting here. Keep making all sorts of wacky things here. There we go. Thank you for bearing with me. You see here that sometimes painters fall apart right in the middle of their live streams. There we go. Really like creating that lay of the land, that nice little streaky thing. And maybe, just maybe, drop a brush on the floor. Why not? This day is going just wonderfully. I'm going to take a little bit of this phthalo blue and create a little pathway. Have my 1-inch brush and just soften it. Back to my big old fan brush here. And let's just make a big old monster tree in the foreground. Gotta have a big tree. Coming up on Thanksgiving, which means time to go Christmas tree shopping. Gotta have them big old trees. And we need some more highlight on this tree. Lots and lots of paint. Make this easier here. Come up here and tint it. Got lots of paint in my brush here. Lots of paint. And find that angle there where you're just going to hit it a little bit. Tap, 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 tap. Creating these little patterns. I like putting a couple little bright white ones here and there. Some of these are in shadow, maybe some of these catching the light a little bit more. Couple more right. There it is. Get some of that color out there. Whew. Well, like I said, I'm just warming up here, and had to get something moving out of my brush. And I appreciate you guys popping in. I didn't think anyone was going to show up, but thank you guys very much. And we'll see about doing something next. Woo! We got other things going on. Thank you guys. Thanks, Bruce. I will see you next time. Take care, all.